on this one news station. I'm not going to mention their name. And they were covering the protests in Ekurhuleni, right? So I didn't really know what was happening. But what caught my attention was when I saw police officers carrying rifles. It looked like shotguns, running behind Meklasha, and then they were getting pelted with stones. And then there were some people that looked like car guards. Fighting with the police officers. So not fighting against them, literally fighting with them. So they were picking up these stones and they were throwing them over this gate. It turns out that they were trying to evict some tenants in Ekurhuleni. And then later on, there was a Home Affairs building that was set alight. But before that happened, I saw cameras going into people's houses. Yay, this one lady, Bandla, she was busy there by a snake kettle. Bangena. Then the guys started taking furniture. No questions asked. Hey? And I don't really know what's going on. I just know that apparently people had not paid, right? As a landlord myself, I suppose I can understand why you want to evict somebody who hasn't paid. But watching that, shame. It looked very, very inhumane. Then it got me thinking, right? As media, because as I say, the cameras were right there as this was happening. And I've always thought that sometimes how we cover events, man, we just need to be just a little bit more empathetic. Have you seen when people have died?
Oh, yeah, and then they go.
Then we go into a person's house and you stick a camera in the mother's face.
Hey, man.
Hey? What nonsense is that? Why do we do that?
This is up your alley.
I'm very guilty of that. Hey, I've been a TV reporter and I've done it. And look, sometimes it's very tricky to cover certain stories, and I don't know. I really sympathize with the people going through what they're going through at the evictions, but unfortunately, because that was carried out by the city of Ekurhuleni, and you have permission from the city of Ekurhuleni to conduct yourself in that manner. So in that regard, I hear you and I understand you, but sometimes,
do you want to get the raw emotions?
Yeah,
is that part of the story?
You know, you always try to tell the story of the people there, and you try to show you try to take the viewer, to the scene and show them exactly what is taking place. And sometimes it does get a bit tricky because you don't know how to maneuver and navigate. I've covered funerals. I've covered people, crying, and there is no better way to do it, unfortunately. Like you can't use kid gloves. It's raw.
But why must you be there? Why couldn't you just tell me, hey, 200 people were evicted today? I don't need to see you going into people's houses. Why can't you just report the story?
But
why do you need to sensationalize it?
In this particular instance, I sort of understand. You preface this whole conversation by saying, as a tenant, as a landlord, you understand. Because whether you like it or not, yes, it is a socio-economic situation where people find themselves in positions where they cannot afford to pay for the places they live in. But as the municipality, if you are going to say to other citizens within your municipality, pay for your services, and you have people that are not paying for their services, you sort of need to make an example out of them.
That's fine, but why do cameras need to be there?
That's the only way to make an example out of them.
But
you need to show.
By the city.
Yes, you need to show that if you are going to be living on this property, where part of the requirements for you to live on the property is to be able to afford a certain amount of money, but you choose not to pay collectively, Nochal. Hambani.
I think as consumers of news and just media online, we have ourselves to blame because when the headline is sensationalized, or when we're seeing people literally, getting dressed while getting kicked out of their homes, the media outlet gets more clicks and more views, and then they play into that. That's why whenever you drive and you see the Sunday newspaper article, sometimes they're not even that honest about what's contained in the article. It's just exaggerating and blowing it out of proportion, because that's what actually sells and gets clicks. Sadly, somebody else's pain as well. Raw pain.
To show exactly what you're talking about, Sol. Even till today, when you are involved in an accident, somebody's first point of reference is to whip out their phone. Not necessarily to help you,
yes,
but to be like, I was there. Guess? And then the next thing is, R.I.P. Sizwe Dhlomo died. And you're like, wait, can we allow the processes that need to be done first to be done before you...
Or when you hear somebody passed away, you're like, what happened? Because we want the gore of it. Sadly,
we've become desensitized.
Yeah,
that's you, Sol. Sol will always ask.
No, people always
ask
what
but
happened.
But in general, we have become
standing
desensitized.
down.
It's genuine. Like people
Standing
want to know.
We want the gory
sensitive
details.
stuff, yeah.
Hey, me know what I saw yesterday. Look, the cops here, I understand, because they've got authority. La banya do it koma reflector jackets. Hey, me know so ngena ngempama la manje. Ngena kwa manje yana. Wezophuma nge-fly kick nje straight.
But at the point that you're being evicted, it's no longer your home.
Ngeke. But let us know what your thoughts are. Hey, Matota. The evictions. If you saw these videos that I'm talking about, hey, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. But maybe I'm too sensitive myself. So protests and evictions in the city of Ekurhuleni covered live on TV. I was shocked, though, to see cameras going into people's houses. Man, they would knock on the door, and then this one lady opened, cameras were inside the living room. Guys already flipping a mattress, yonkindo.
Moja Love style.
Bruh, I don't watch Moja Love.
Yeah, some of the shows when they ambush a cheating partner, very intrusive.
Oh, yes, I have seen that, actually. Yes, I have seen that.
Very intrusive.
Yeah, you see? Why do we do that?
Yeah, Dhlomo. Do you remember when Shaudi said that we need to be a bit humane and sensitize some certain informations? There was a huge uproar about freedom of speech. He wants to silence us. No, he wants to not to cover the news. That what's happening.
But now, Sizwe, we live in a digital age whereby news outlets now have TikTok accounts. The video is what makes the story. If we're going back to reporting just the news, then we might as well just have radio and newspapers.
Just because you can report something doesn't mean you should.
Msizwana, labantu abama-reflector labaya, ama-red ends, kahle kahle amaphoyisa asiza bona to conduct an eviction. Ama-red ends.
It's so sad, tenants, because lapana kune court eviction. Those people are refusing. Nami landlord. Unomjitala unkolota 7 months. Umbhatare 2 months. Wahamba ngihleba athi mina ngithatha imali yakhe. You understand? So these people bayenza ngamabomu lento lena. And lento yama camera nani ngiyakuzwa, but unfortunately it's like that. If ama journalists bewangayenzi lento le kuba sinaso story saka Hector Peterson abanjiwe lapha. Yabona? So it's like that.
On the base of reporters, I think we live in a day and age where social media has become such a big thing that if I don't see it, then I don't believe it. We become Abu Thomas. So now I think one of the celebrities was saying that if people don't see it or visualize that you're suffering, people don't believe you. So I think that's what reporters are doing now. They have dehumanized humans for a story to say that we need to show exactly the footage, the sorrow, the pain, so that people can relate, which unfortunately takes out the human element in it.
Morning, Sizwe. Ngivumelana no Sol. We are feeding into the frenzy, sensational everything. You will even see people saying, if there's no video, this story is useless. So, and then the media outlets have to keep up. People no longer wait for 7 o'clock to watch the news or whatever. So, hey, Yonkin Donje is wishy-wash.
I'll tell you something else. It's also dangerous. So yesterday, one of the shots I saw, because the cops were seemingly scared, but they're carrying shotguns. So when the people started pelting them with stones, the cops are running. But one of the shots, the cop literally had the shotgun pointed at the camera person. I don't think he meant to do it on purpose, but obviously he's running. And I was like, bro, you're going to get blown away right now.
Now they're shooting one another.
Hey, my
cameraman shooting cops, cops shooting cameraman.
Good rough, good rough. Yeah. So at least the police are now beginning to work for their money, not eat the KFC and stuff like that, and sit in the backseat of the car, the BMs, all these luxurious police cars and GTIs. Now they're really working. Big ups to SAPS and shame on those, who were evicted. Sorry, guys.